Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Friday, June 1st. We have a full slate tonight, a 15-game slate. Every team is in action. We got a lot of pitchers and batters to talk about, so like always, guys, I don't want to waste time. Just make sure you drop a like on the video. Really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel and you have not clicked that subscribe button yet, be sure you do subscribe down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, pitcher today. We have 5 options that are 10K or more on DraftKings. Starting up with Strasburg, working our way down. We got Strasburg versus the Braves. Garrett Cole and Chris Sale are going up against each other. Cole obviously facing the Red Sox. Chris Sale going to face the Astros. Then we have Carlos Carrasco against the Twins, and Nick Pivetta, our 5th most expensive pitcher, at least on DK, is at 10K versus the Giants. Just looking at these top 5 options, I do like paying up for pitcher on this slate. But I'm not really looking at the top tier, like Strasburg, Cole, Sale. I don't like any of those matchups, really. The Braves are just a team that doesn't strike out a ton. They put the ball in play. Strasburg, I just don't think he's worth that 12-1 price tag. Garrett Cole and Chris Sale both seem way underpriced, but they have terrible matchups. The Red Sox have been great this year versus righties. And even though Cole is cheap, I just really don't take pitchers against the Red Sox. And kind of the same goes for the Astros. Chris Sale is insanely cheap at 11K. But this Astros team just has so much power from the right side. Just so many guys that can hit lefties well. I know Chris Sale is not your average lefty, but I still am scared of this matchup. But the guys that I do like their matchups, I like Carlos Carrasco's matchup with the Twins, and I do like Nick Pivetta, his matchup in San Francisco versus the Giants. But just choosing between those two guys, I think I'm going to roll with Carrasco here versus the Twins. A Twins team that Carrasco has pitched against before this year and did pretty well. Pitched 7 innings against them, got 7 strikeouts, only allowed 3 hits and a walk. 27 DraftKings points when he did face the Twins earlier this year. The Twins have got Sano and Buxton back in their lineup, which adds strikeouts to their lineup. If we just look at their projected lineup for tomorrow, if I can find it right here, look at their projected lineup. Joe Mauer might be making a comeback. Looks like he might be back from injury. He's in the projected lineup. Not a guy that strikes out a ton, but a guy that's really just not a good hitter anymore. Sano gives power to that lineup, but still adds strikeouts. Morrison will strike out. Get down to the bottom of that lineup. You've got strikeouts there with Garver. He strikes out versus righties. I think this is a good spot for Carrasco. I prefer him over the top options. It feels weird playing Carrasco when you have Chris Sale and Garrett Cole for right there at price. But those matchups just really scare me. I don't think Cole or Sale are going to get really roughed up, but I could see them just pitching 5-6 innings. Maybe giving up 2 or 3 runs apiece and only getting 6-7 strikeouts. And I don't think that's really getting the job done. I feel like Carrasco could outscore all 3 of those top guys. I feel like Pivetta could possibly be the high scoring pitcher on this slate as well. So Carrasco and Pivetta are kind of the 2 pitchers I'm focused on today. And then if we look for SP2s, if you don't want to pay up for any of these top options, I think there are guys with upside in this 10K and below range. Like Tanaka versus the Orioles, I think has a lot of upside. Might be risky, but Tanaka could definitely be a play. Same with Berea here versus the Rangers, a Rangers team that strikes out a ton. You could look to Berea at 9,300 if you wanted to play him. But if we're just looking for a pitcher that we can pair with Carrasco, the guy that I like is at 8,700. Milos Mikolas at 8,700, like I said. Versus the Pirates, I think this is a good spot for Mikolas. He's going to be pitching at home in a pitcher-friendly park in St. Louis, getting to face a Pirates team that he has faced, actually faced in his last start. He didn't do that well against the Pirates, allowed 4 runs through 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, only got 5 strikeouts, allowed a walk as well, just 11.9 DraftKings points the last time he faced the Pirates. I believe he pitched against them another time this year and was much better that time. 7 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 21 DK points. I like Mikolas here. I think this is a spot where he can definitely provide value on this $8,700 price tag. If we look at Vegas information for this game, the Pirates only have a 3.7 implied run total for today, or for this game. Mikolas is at home. He's favored. It's a pitcher-friendly park. I think just a lot of things are in his favor here. This Pirates team is not a team that strikes out a ton, but there still are some Ks in this lineup with especially Mercer and Taillon at the bottom there. Marte, Cervelli, Harrison, these guys don't strike out a ton, but their K rate is a little bit increased versus righties. Do strike out more versus righties than lefties. So I do like Milos Mikolas here at 8,700. I think him and Carrasco could easily combine for 50 points today, if not exceed that amount. There are definitely bats I want to pay up for on this slate, so I don't want to spend too much salary at pitcher. Do want to have some salary to pay for bats. So I like building around Carrasco and Mikolas. If we look at the other pitchers that I haven't talked about, there isn't a ton I love that's really, really cheap on this slate. If you want to go to the other side of that the Cardinals game and go with Taillon, he is insanely cheap. Taillon's only $6,800. Even though he has really struggled lately, you're getting Taillon at a very cheap price tag. I think you could definitely consider him as an SP2 on this slate. Chase Anderson has a high upside matchup with the White Sox, but he's been pretty poor lately. He's also dirt cheap, though, at $6,500. But these guys like 6K and below, I'm just not considering. Chris Stratton, I guess, maybe, because he's pitching at home in such a pitcher-friendly park. He's dirt cheap as well, $5,700. The Phillies do strike out a lot, but they also hit the ball really well. But when you're playing in AT&T, that's really a bad ballpark for hitters. Stratton could actually be a play today at $5,700 if you're looking to go that cheap. But not really a guy that I think has a ton of upside. Could possibly get you 15 to 20. In cash games, that kind of gets the job done. That hits value. But in tournaments, I would say you want more than that. Taillon would probably be a better tournament play because he could be more likely to go for like 25, 30 rather than Stratton. But yeah, I think that's it for pitcher. For the pitchers I'm really focused on for today, for tonight's slate. Now if we want to talk about some batters, the hitters to target, Bartolo Colon pitching on this slate against the Angels. We've seen him really regress lately, kind of be the pitcher we've seen in the past, really struggle. So I like the Angels today, and at first base, I like a value play here with Albert Pujols. He is dirt cheap, $3,400 versus Colon. Just like I said, Colon's really struggled lately. He's allowed, I believe, 9 runs in his last 2 starts. The Angels aren't getting a favorable ballpark here to hit in. Wish this game was being played in Texas, but even though it's being in LA, it's still, or the Vegas information for this game is still on the Angels side. They still have a nice implied run total today at 4.9 runs, and they've got a lot of value in their lineup. Pretty much besides Mike Trout, I'd say Ohtani as well, and maybe Simmons. You've got so much value here from the Angels. If Cozart doesn't lead off, or if he's in the lineup and he leads off, you got great value at second base, third base, $3,300. If Kinsler bats lead off, we saw Kinsler lead off for Cozart when he got scratched. Kinsler could be a great value play as well at $3,300. So love the Angels here. I believe some of these guys have BVP versus Cologne as well. Pujols 8 for 25 with 3 home runs. Simmons 12 for 26. Trout's 10 for 18 with 3 home runs. So just love the Angels here and love Albert Pujols at first base for value, $3,400. Also like Justin Upton in the outfield, another value play from that team. He is only $4,100. Seems too cheap for this matchup. He's really been struggling lately. Upton has struggled to hit the ball lately, but this is a matchup where he can bounce back versus Cologne, a pitcher that just doesn't have good stuff, just throws a lot of fastballs, throws a lot in the zone as well. And Upton's a powerful hitter. If he makes contact with the ball, can definitely send it out of the ballpark. And I like Upton, another guy from that team, loading up on the Angels today, especially with their price tags. Upton and Pujols, especially with their prices, I think great values at $3,400 and $4,100. Then my final play at third base, getting some Coors Field exposure today. Justin Turner, probably one of my favorite plays on this slate at $4,600 versus a lefty in Coors Field. We know Justin Turner, a guy that crushes left-handed pitching. You put him in Coors Field, that's going to help him out even more. This is a game we're going to want to get exposure to. I think from both sides. Looks like the Dodgers are going to do a bullpen game here. Looks like Dennis Santana is going to start for the Dodgers, but he's probably only going to pitch 1 or 2 innings. They might bring in a lefty after that. So guys like Parra and maybe Carlos Gonzalez kind of scare me here because if a lefty comes in, those guys could get pinch hit for. Not as high on the Rockies today. They only have a 5.2 implied run total, but still some of these guys are definitely plays, especially like Blackman and Arenado. You can consider those guys just whenever they're hitting at home. But the Dodgers side is what I really like. You've got value from this team, especially with like Kike Hernandez. If he bats second, he's only $3,900 versus a lefty. Turner's crushed lefties this year, $4,600 batting third. You got Matt Kemp, who's been hitting the ball well lately, at $4,400. Just like the value from some of these Dodgers bats, like Justin Turner here at $4,600. Think he is a little bit too cheap, especially being in Coors Field versus the lefty. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for tonight's slate. Carlos Carrasco, Miles Mikolas, Albert Pujols, Justin Turner, and Justin Upton. Now moving on to stacks and PvP plays. We'll quickly go over these for today's slate. Like I said, we want Coors Field exposure. Like the Dodgers, probably my favorite stack on this slate. The Dodgers and the Angels are really 2 teams I'm loading up on. The Dodgers you can look to if you've got the salary to pay up for these guys. But if you need value, the Angels are where you can really look to with Cozart, Upton, Pujols, even Ian Kinsler, whether he bats first or seventh, could be great value. Pujols and Upton, though 3 and 4, just two guys that I think are a little bit too cheap for this matchup with Bartolo Colon. The Dodgers, like I said, are obviously a good stack as well. You can go to them. Looking at some of the other teams on this slate, could go to the Brewers here versus Hector Santiago. The Brewers have a ton of right-handed power in their lineup with Kane, Aguilar, Brawl, Santana. They've got power in that lineup, can definitely take Santiago deep and really give him some troubles. You could look to the Brewers today, a team you could target. The Yankees seem like they're always in play. They get a matchup with Kevin Gausman in Camden Yards. You could definitely consider these Yankees bats, but with how expensive they are, probably not my number one stack on this slate. When you factor in price, I think the Angels are a team I'm going to have a ton of exposure to today. Yeah, I think that's it for stacks. Quickly going over some BVP plays on this slate. There's a lot of them, so we'll just cover the ones with a decent sample. Starting up top here, a couple of these Orioles have hit Tanaka well. Adam Jones 9 for 24 with 2 home runs. Jonathan Scope is 6 for 26 with 3 home runs. Brett Gardner 14 for 42 with the home run versus Gausman. Aaron Judge 7 for 14, 3 home runs versus Gausman. Jason Hayward 8 for 21 with 2 home runs versus Zach Wheeler. Freddie Freeman, a lot of plate appearances against Strasburg, 15 for 42 with 4 home runs. Altuve has some decent BVP versus Sale. He's 8 for 21 with the home run. Brian Dozier 6 for 29, 3 home runs versus Carrasco. Rosario is 3 for 12 with the home run versus Carrasco. A couple of these Cardinals have hit Tyon well. Carpenter 7 for 16 with the home run, and Tommy Pham 4 for 13. A couple of the Dodgers have hit Tyler Anderson well. Kike Hernandez 4 for 16 with the home run, and Justin Turner, really good BVP, 9 for 17 with the home run, 529 average. I mentioned the Angels BVP earlier versus Cologne. Pujols is 8 for 25, 3 home runs. Simmons 12 for 26, and Trout 10 for 18 with 3 home runs. And then lastly, you got Carlos Gomez down here versus Mike Leake. He's gone 7 for 18 versus Leake. But now moving on to pitchers. Only 2 pitchers have done well in their matchups with at least a 60 at-bat sample. It's both from the same game. Barrios and Carrasco have both done well against each other's team. Barrios done well against the Indians. Indians are only hitting him for a 151 average through 73 ABs. Carrasco only allowing a 214 average to the Twins, only allowing 24 hits through 112 at-bats versus them. And then the pitchers that have done poorly, there's a lot of them. Chris Sale on this list, surprisingly, versus the Astros. They've only hit Sale for a 233 average, but they do have 2 home runs versus him, 17 hits. Going back to the top, though, Gausman, he struggled against the Yankees. Really no surprise there. Yankees have hit him for a 305 average. Tyler Chatwood struggled to the Mets. Mets have hit him for a 309 average. Tyler Anderson struggled to the Dodgers. The Dodgers have hit him for a 329 average through 70 ABs. And then lastly, Cologne has struggled against this Angels team. This Angels team has really hit him well. They've got 362 average through 130 at-bats. They got 47 hits, 13 extra base hits, and 9 home runs. Just love the Angels today. Think they make a ton of sense. But yeah, guys, I think that's really it for BVP and PVB on the slate, and I think that is it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helped you. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button down below. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. And like always, if you've got questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or you can leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this slate. Peace.